Good morning, Morning Musings by Melinda. Today's topic is how and why do people lash out? Because we've never seen more lashing out than we do recently on social media. It's just surprising sometimes, especially over jokes. Sometimes people are taking jokes quite literally and are lashing out to strangers over some jokes, and strangers lashing out to each other. And it just seems to be that that's the norm rather than the exception, that people are lashing out more and more. And before I talk to you about why people lash out and how we are supposed to respond rather than react to that lashing out, I want to tell you a story about somebody who did not lash out. And that was over a post that I put out about grandmothers. As you know, those of you who've watched me for a little while know that my favorite job is being a grandmother. And we put a post out about being at grandma's house, staying overnight at grandma's house. And it had a lovely picture. And at the bottom of the post, we did give where we got the post from, etc. And gosh, that thing went viral. There were 70,000 likes and 170,000 shares. And there was a lovely picture on the bottom of it. Now, where we got the post did not put any kind of recognition for the picture. And we, with an innocence, put everything out the way that we saw it. It gave some kind of a connection to where it was published, but not to the photographer. And the photographer actually reached out. She did not lash out. She reached out in kindness and said, hey, I would like to have some recognition. And of course, she would want recognition. And it was a copyright infringement. And we would certainly never, with any intention, do something like that. And so I saw that she and Jackie spoke kindly to each other about it. And I may not be pronouncing her name correctly. So if she's watching, I apologize. It's Suyata Setia, and it's But Natural Photography. And that's But Natural Photography. And so if you loved that post and you loved that picture, go to her website and take a look at some of her other work, because it's absolutely fabulous. And we so appreciate someone who reached out in kindness and simply said, hey, you guys made a mistake by not recognizing me, and would you please? And so that's the way we should be talking to each other rather than the other way around. But why do people lash out? Because, geez, we're seeing a lot of viral lashing out. I think I saw something that someone in Scottsdale, a woman in Scottsdale, went into a Target and systematically took all of the masks that were for sale in Target and threw them on the floor and was really having rather a temper tantrum. And, was actually videoing her own temper tantrum. And I saw that she was shocked when the police were going to arrest her, which I also found interesting, because whether you agree or you disagree with wearing masks, you can't go in and destroy public property. Because don't you remember what our parents taught us, which is 2 wrongs don't make a right? Well, why are people lashing out so much? Well, there's multiple reasons that people lash out. Sometimes it's a temporary release of stress and anger. And certainly we're all feeling this pressure. We're in a pressure cooker in this country right now of feeling stress and anger over our situation and the divisiveness and the nasty rhetoric and the complaining. Good heavens to Murgatroyd. It's really gotten so out of hand, right? And so, lashing out can be a form of getting it out of you, like it's all bottled up. And, a lot of times people lash out. I, think that we all do it. I know I've done it. I know we all do it. I know we all have to understand when each other lashes out in some form or fashion, because later we might feel embarrassed or ashamed for lashing out. I can remember after my dad passed away, which was, 33 years ago, I believe now. I'd have to do the math, but I think it was 33 years. And I had a washer repairman coming. And I don't remember the situation, but listen, I remember lashing out to him from 33 years ago and yelling at him over something, an innocent washer repairman, because I was bottled up with that grief and that anxiety of losing my father. And so I did something that 33 years ago, I report to you, that still makes me feel bad today. So, you have to remember that sometimes when people are lashing out at you, it's all about what's inside of them. Sometimes people do it for self-protection. They may lash out because they've been rejected before and they want to be feel safer or in control or whatever, and they are lashing out so that they can get rejected before they get rejected, if that makes sense to you. They're used to rejection, so they kind of make it happen because that's what they're accustomed to. It can come from past trauma. PTSD isn't just for people who've been in a war. PTSD can be a real situation from all kinds of things, even from childhood. And people can lash out from that. Sometimes people lash out just to get a reaction. Sometimes people lash out just to devalue you or control you. And sometimes stress is overwhelming. So what is the strategy for people who lash out? Well, you know me, I always say use your sense of humor first. I'm not saying laugh at somebody who's lashing out, because they're obviously in deep pain and they're feeling so uptight that they have to do something that they might not normally do. But just, you got to use your sense of humor when you see some of these things that are on the internet, because, gosh, what else do we have but our sense of humor right now as we try to move through this in a productive way, and in a way that's responsible and has integrity and is kind to our neighbor. When you see some of that stuff, you just have to, maybe laugh a little bit about it. Somebody I just see, sorry for your loss, Sabrina. We'll keep your grandpa and cousin in our thoughts and prayers. Hugs you. I didn't see that comment, Sabrina. I am so sorry that you lost your grandpa and your cousin. And I, too, will keep you in my thoughts and prayers and actually focus on you in my meditation today. And I didn't see the original comment. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Sabrina. So the strategy is to be non-reactive to somebody that's lashing out, because that's what they're hoping for, is a reaction. Something that feeds them energy. When you react to somebody that's lashing out, you're feeding energy to them, and that's exactly what they want. They may not know they want it. They may only know that they want that from a subconscious place, but that's exactly what they want. Love and understanding. You can use words like, hey, I understand where you're coming from, or I understand that you're upset, or I understand that you're in pain, or I understand that you're frustrated. Is there anything I can do to help you? I hear you. Some kind of a validating comment if you know the person. And you have to make sure that you are not giving the power of your attention. I continue to say to you every day, we need to keep our vibrational frequency. Hi, Gloria. We need to keep our vibrational frequency at a level of being able to not be dragged down like we're wearing cement shoes right now. I mean, that's the issue, is we can't walk with cement shoes. And every time we're nasty to each other, every time we say something rude to each other, every time we react inappropriately, every time that we lash out to somebody, we're putting cement shoes on all of us if we don't allow that vibrational frequency to move forward in love and light. So apparently I missed something that Sabrina said, because everybody's saying something to her, and so I'm sorry, Sabrina. And it looks like Jackie replied to you too, but we will definitely keep you in our thoughts and our prayers. Gloria, my friend, I hope that you're doing well. I think of you often. My sister Lisa, always happy to see you every morning. Love you. And so the next time that you see somebody on the internet that's had a temper tantrum and is acting a little bit inappropriately, instead of rolling your eyes and saying, there goes another Karen, which, boy, that's hard on the Karens. But anyways, maybe send them some love and some light instead. Okay? All right. I hope that you have a great day. And thank you all for being kind to each other, as I can see on this today. Bye now.